Your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405
10 seconds.
61. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Sports. Welcome to Fifth Street Sports on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation radio networks. I'm Nick Eber along with Frank Perez and Nolan Dalla. We'll be joined in just a minute by our good friend and Fifth Street resident, Mr. Oklahoma Brian, who will join us from
Oklahoma.
That's right.
I bet he's heard that before.
Shocking surprise, isn't it? Anyway, we have a lot to get to today. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about Sunday's World Cup final, of course, because that is the biggest story in sports right now.
In the world.
In the world. Globally, the quadrennial, the world's biggest sporting event. It's quadrennial, so every 4 years it comes down. The world stops. Of course, Wimbledon doesn't. And once again, we're going to have a Djokovic makes it to the Wimbledon final against Anderson. That should be a pretty exciting Wimbledon men's final. But really, I think the final was already played, right? It was the Nadal-Djokovic semifinal. So we can talk a little bit about tennis if you want. If you don't want, it's all good. Throw you a curve there, Nolan.
You did throw me a curve. Actually, we are going to talk about in an hour or two. But we also have here in Las Vegas some interesting news going on. Tonight, I should say on Saturday on ESPN, the finals of the World Championship of Poker, the World Series of Poker final table, the last three play out this evening.
Right, yeah. So World Series of Poker is ongoing as we speak. All right, we got a lot on the table for you next hour. Obviously, World Series of Poker, soccer. By the way, we're going to give you a real leg up. And I don't mean a leg over because that's naughty. We're going to give you a leg up over the competition. Stay tuned for the next hour. We're going to give you some very secret betting strategies for betting the World Cup Golden Ball. Only people listening to this show.
Golden
Ball. Not the Golden Boot, the Golden Ball. Only people listening to this show are going to know how the best way to bet it. And this is real insider information. Trust me, coming to you right here from Fifth Street Sports.
I just want to know the difference between a boot and a ball.
Well, Boot's top scorer, Ball's most valuable player.
Thank you.
All right, 800-878-PLAY, 800-878-PLAY. Give us a call in studio if you'd like to participate in the show. We'd love to hear from you. You can also find us online at fifthstreetsports.com. You can find us on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitch. We're streaming live to all those locations. So that's a lot for you to digest, I know. I'm going to go take a Tums, and we'll be right back in 3 minutes.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low Cost Airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down. 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
All right, welcome back to Fifth Street Sports. We got a lot to talk about today. Busy schedule, but first let's go over some news. What do you say, Frank Perez? Ready to talk about the news about what's going on in the world of gambling, casinos, and sports gambling? And let's bring in from the great state of Oklahoma. Can we bring in Mr. Oklahoma Brian? Sir, are you there? Can you hear me now?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Welcome, sir. How's everything in Oklahoma today, Brian?
It's raining today.
Raining? You mean you need the rain, don't you?
I think so.
He doesn't care. He's probably he's got action. He's in front of the TV. All right, we got at least four or five news items. We're going to get to them here in the next 10 minutes, gentlemen. Are you ready to play and comment on what's going on in the world of sports gambling? Frank, ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In the big news, of course, sports gambling continuing to spread all over the United States. Forbes magazine announcing yesterday. Forbes magazine, very conservative, respective publication, says there will be 6 states in the United States that will have legalized gambling by the end of 2018. Those states are New Jersey, Nevada, obviously, Delaware, Mississippi, West Virginia, and Rhode Island. Pretty amazing, gentlemen. 6 out of the gate in the first year on legalized sports gambling. What do you think, Frank?
Truthfully, I thought there was going to be more than that because it was already, there's already obviously 1, and 2 were already in the hopper. I thought there'd be 10. I'm kind of surprised there's only 6.
Oklahoma?
Yeah, I thought there'd be more than 6 also. Of course, Mississippi, I believe, is that next week?
Or yeah, but does that count? I mean, really, I'm telling you, you know, Nolan.
Ouch!
I remember spending when we were doing the World Series of Poker.
Don
circuit,
Rickles, ladies and gentlemen, has made an appearance from the grave.
When we were doing the World Series of Poker circuit, and we were shooting all those circuit events, we were in Tunica twice a year.
I love that place.
I hate that place.
All you can do. There's nothing to do but drink and gamble.
Let me tell you.
How can you not love it?
There's I think Mississippi is the state with the lowest teeth per capita of any state in the union.
West Virginia is like running distant second.
U.S. teeth, the lowest tooth per capita.
All right, send all your hate mail to Nick Geber. He lives at.
I was walking out of the casino in Tunica, Mississippi, at about 3:00 in the morning one day. And as I was, and it's sort of this riverboat concept, right? Where it's really not.
Supposedly,
it's really a big concrete platform in the middle of something that could be water.
They dig a pit, throw some water, put a garden hose in there, and then build a casino. Yeah.
Walking up the ramp, and I was tired as you know what. Now I get to the door and feel someone bumping my shoulder. I turn around and a woman looks at me and smiles with one.
That's usually a good thing.
One tooth in her head, and she goes, "Want to have a good time?"
So what did that end up costing you?
Nothing. I ran.
Oh, shall we move on, gentlemen,
Yes,
and
let's
try
do
to
it.
cut?
And
cut
if you're
us-
from
cut-
Mississippi, don't hate me, please.
All right.
I love it.
Delaware's hold the first month of action. A remarkable hold, Frank. I'm hearing like they took in $7 million, and how much did they hold?
Yeah, it was like 6.9 million, and they actually held 14%.
That's astounding, right? What do they hold in Nevada usually?
Geez, I would think between 4 and 6.
Are Delaware gamblers, Oklahoma, are Delaware gamblers just that much worse than gamblers in Nevada? How could you have a hold of 14% here, I'm sorry, in Delaware, and 5% on average here in Nevada?
I'm stunned. I don't know how they achieved 14% hold. That's it's not sustainable, but it is impressive. And I frankly have no idea. I don't know if maybe they're getting a lot of parlay action or what's going on.
Yeah, somebody's lost a lot of money. But let's check Nick Gieber's itinerary and make sure he wasn't in Delaware the last month. Moving on, gentlemen, Charles Oakley, our favorite basketball retiree, used to play for the New York Knicks, caught cheating in a casino.
Yeah.
Cheating. What happened, Nick Gieber? You followed that story.
Well, I think he was playing blackjack, and I think he saw what the dealer had and was trying to pull back some chips surreptitiously. Of course.
Oh, you're not allowed to do that.
You're an idiot because there's nothing surreptitious about betting in a casino. Okay, there's 1,000
Surreptitious?
You know, on the down low, right?
Learning as we go. Go ahead, Jim.
Because there are about 1,000. You're the writer.
Yeah, I know.
Why do
I use
I
a thesaurus. That's what word.
okay. But there are about 100 cameras on each table. I mean, not literally. It's a very quick story for you.
Yeah.
When we were doing the World Series of Poker circuit, we had to get gaming commission approval because we were pioneering live broadcasts with hole cards of poker. And we had to get the gaming commission to sign off. And I actually, on a couple of occasions, had opportunity to walk with the gaming commission through some of the security rooms in some of these casinos. Oh, my God. I tell you what, if you're paranoid about people watching you and all the rest of this stuff, let me tell you, you have every reason to be paranoid because the quality of the surveillance is unreal, and even this was 10, 12 years ago. So the idea that you could pull a couple of chips back is stupid, idiotic. This guy's got more money than... What does he care? Really,
Well, that's a very serious offense. I understand that, again, Charles Oakley, the former New York Knicks star NBA player who made who knows how many millions over the course of his career, was booked. I mean, he actually, was arrested, booked. They take that very seriously in casinos, especially here with Metro in Nevada. By the way, you've been around this town for a long time, Frank. Is there a lot of cheating, this kind of thing? Does this happen in this state very, very much anymore?
No, not anymore. But was he doing this like on a lot of hands or just one hand he did it on? I don't know.
Nick, do you know this?
Well, by my reading of the articles, and I read a couple of them on it, it was just one hand that they tried.
Oh no, because one hand you can always play stupid, like, oh gosh, I didn't see the dealer doing. I think he was doing it a lot of hands.
I think they probably caught him doing it a lot. And I mentioned to you before we came on the air that I actually can't stand cheating in casinos, and I'll tell you why. You're not taking money from the casino. At the end of the day, you're taking money from the punters.
Let me just back up here because you said something. We were talking off the air, and you mentioned that you saw something in a casino recently where you
yesterday.
thought the man may have been cheating.
Yeah,
we
I know
don't want
for
to tell the
sure he
story,
was.
but your position was that. I was kind of like, wow, it's kind of like Robin Hood, robbing up. You always cheer for the bank robber, right? But you're saying no. Why, Nick?
Well, because look, at the end of the day, the casino's profit's going to be the casino's profits, and it's going to come somewhere. It's going to come in reduced comps for you. It's going to come in a less juicy odds on whatever machines you play, more expensive tickets for the events you go to. I mean, they're going to make this money up for somewhere. Ultimately, it's the same thing as insurance fraud. I mean, okay, the little guy's getting one over on the big guy, but everyone's insurance rates go up. Look, theft and cheating is theft and cheating. I really don't. I don't subscribe to this Robin Hood theory.
Oklahoma Brian, if you were to witness someone like Nick did cheating, would you turn him in?
I suppose that's an interesting question.
He's thinking about it. See, it is a dilemma, isn't it?
No, I would not.
Okay, we got to hear the follow-up. Why not? Why wouldn't you turn in a person you thought was cheating in a casino?
We could go on for a while.
You're sweating, sir.
I don't think you're taking away from the other player. I think it's player versus the house. I
No.
think the House has a lot of edges. I'm not saying that I think it's right, but no, I wouldn't turn in the flyer.
Okay.
No.
So
We have
Brian,
enough voting against-
I'll tell you why I'm disagreeing
Go
with you. Card counting should not be a crime in my book. There's nothing
Agreed.
wrong with card counting. If I saw someone card counting, I wouldn't have a problem with that. Okay. Edge sorting, like Phil Ivey did, I don't have a problem with that. He didn't collude with anybody. He didn't put the deck in there. He just figured out that there were imperfections in the deck, and that's on the casino. For my book, that's their problem. They have an edge. You can get an edge. But like but trying to pull a chip back after you've made your bet, that's just cheating.
Just a second. Yes, pulling a chip back or something, doing that. But what you witnessed was someone who had apparently figured out a computer glitch with the way he hit the buttons on the machine.
So,
by the way, is he cheating, really?
Well, that's a good question. So actually, that's a really good question. And what's the difference between that and Phil Ivey? You're probably right, Nolan. There probably is none. Wow. What a great discussion. I'd almost like to continue it for a couple of minutes when we come back.
We should.
By
the way, I think you're outvoted here. Frank, what's your vote, real quick, before we go to the break?
Yeah,
No, I wouldn't. First of all, I would like to see how he was cheating, and then, but I would not turn him in. No, because
3-1, you're losing, Nick.
No, actually, I'm reconsidering based on my Phil Ivey description because I don't actually. Why don't we pick this up? Because this is actually a really interesting discussion. When we come back, we're going to talk World Series of Poker. We're going to continue just a few minutes our discussion of cheating in casinos, and don't go anywhere.
You've lit his fire.
Yeah, no, actually, you really got my head going.
Yeah,
here. I like this. A little intellectual stimulation here.
A little bit, anyway.
On Fifth Street Sports.
Right.
What's
How to
wrong
cheat
with
in a
that?
casino? Brought to you by Nick Geber.
What's wrong with that? All right. Nick Geber, Nolan Dalla, Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian, Andrew and Boggs producing along with Scott. We'll be right back after this.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies, but you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies, but you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Nevada book.
All right, welcome back to the show. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Networks, and of course American Forces. An absolute pleasure to be with you.
Nick. We were arguing all the time while we were off the air, right? We've been arguing non-stop.
You know, it's funny how this goes. So we're going to spend 2 segments on this show talking about the World Series of Poker, which we will do.
Okay.
But we're going to continue the discussion that we had in the last segment because we were talking about a really interesting concept and having an interesting discussion about cheating in casinos. What's cheating and what's not? So let me lay it out there, guys. This comes out of a news story that Nolan read about Charles Oakley, the Knicks legend, being arrested in Las Vegas for string betting, for pulling back some chips off a table once the dealer's cards had been shown. That is illegal. It's a crime here in Las Vegas to do that. You're essentially cheating. So then the question became, well, what is cheating? Was Phil Ivey, who was edge sorting at Baccarat for millions of dollars, he won millions of dollars. You know this story, Nolan.
Made the national press.
Yeah. Was that cheating? And my opinion, and I think the consensus of everyone on this show, was that edge sorting really isn't cheating because you're using what's given to you by the casino, by the game rules, to get an edge, which in this case is he detected flaws in the cards that they were using and was able to have an idea of what was behind the cards that he was looking at. So was that cheating? I think our consensus guy's right. No? Nolan, edge sorting is cheating?
No.
Frank?
No.
Oklahoma Brian?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Card counting. Is that cheating? Nolan?
No.
No, absolutely not.
Frank, no. Brian?
Of course not.
No. I mean, okay, now the casinos can say we have the right to refuse service to anybody, and if we find you counting cards, you're not welcome here.
All right, Nick, let's carry your little game. That's just very good. Let's carry it a little further. Brian, I'll start with you here. You see what's obviously a misprint or a bad line. I'll make up something. I could give you some examples here in Nevada that actually happened, but I'll do something that's common when I understand it. Let's suppose the Buffalo Bills are favored over the New England Patriots by 16. Well, you know that line is wrong. It should be the other way around. But you can bet it. By taking advantage of that number, should you expect to be paid? Brian?
No, that falls into the category of an obvious line error. But this is a big problem in our industry. Not so much, I mean, the 16-point line is obvious. Even my wife could probably figure that one out. But what happens a lot now, more and more offices are offering live wagering, and those disputes are really tricky. You know, if it's the bottom of the 6th inning with 2 outs, and there's a pitching change, we go to a commercial, and 2 places offering live betting could easily come up with a line that's substantially different than the other. And this is becoming a big problem where one office will put up a line and then realize that their line is not really a very good line and try to cancel the wager, claiming it was an obvious offline. In my opinion, that's totally out of bounds. Once we get into live betting, you have to stand behind the line you put up, unless you make a total of 112 instead of 12 or something like that. But yeah, these type of ethical issues pop up all the time in sports.
All right, real quick, Brian. This actually happened about 10 years ago. I was up in Lake Tahoe. It was at Harvey's, and they did 3-way bets in soccer. And whoever was putting in the numbers for Lake Tahoe, and they were different, by the way, from Caesars properties. Even though it was a Harrah's/Caesars property, they have their own capability of putting their own numbers up at that casino. I was there, by the way, and I know the sportsbook manager very well. He told me the story. They actually when they got the sheet in, somebody was asleep at the wheel, and he put in the draw and the favorite. They missed up those numbers. So Manchester United was playing some horrific team and was plus 250. It was just so, there were a few people, not many, but they hammered the hell. They maxed out, and finally, after Manchester United, somebody, after they're getting several $1,000 bets on Manchester United, somebody figured out something's wrong. Well, here's the question. When Manchester United destroyed whoever they're playing, Hull or somebody like that, whenever they destroyed the opponent, should those wagers on Manchester United be honored? By the way, the Nevada Gaming Commission said no. It said no. True story.
I feel like that's an obvious line error. I wouldn't argue that those tickets should count. I think that falls into the category of obvious line error. Hey, can I throw out a counter scenario to you though?
Sure.
How about this scenario? We know that in the NFL, college football too, that lines on a parlay card stay there no matter what, right? So if there's an injury or severe weather, the parlay cards, as long as they're printed on Monday or Tuesday, whenever they're printed, they're good for the rest of the week. Let's say there's a significant injury in the NFL. Let's say 2 or 3 key players are out for a team, and you run up, and let's say it's a week late in the year where there's a lot of injuries across the board, and many games have moved 2 or 3 points. Should you be able to max out those parlay cards, or do you think that the casino has a point if they tell you, hey, buddy, I think you should take it easy on these parlays, and if you don't, we don't want you to play here anymore?
Well, on those obvious ones like that, when on like Thursday, the parlay cards come out on Wednesday. When you see like the Patriots minus 11.5 against the Jets, and Brady now is not going to play on Thursday, and the line goes down to 4.5, they take them off the card. They say like number 63 and 64 is not valid.
But if you've already bet those,
oh
they
no,
honor those.
If you've already bet it, it's good. It's good, just like in a regular bet.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the term stale parlay cards.
Yeah, but
that's a term that means it's kind of like a loaf of bread that's 4 days old. It's like you don't
No.
really, but you know what, boy, you can sure
right, like
find some juice.
right,
in there.
like on the super obvious ones where there's a hurricane is coming through on Thursday, and the total was 47. Now it's down to 34. They take those off the card. But let's say what stale numbers are. There's a lot of times, a game is like 6.5 and it goes up to 8.5. So that 8, now the real line's 8.5. That 6.5 is a value bet. They won't take those off, but if it goes really super obvious, they take them off.
So let's just give a couple more scenarios here. There was a piece I read in the news a couple of years ago out here in Las Vegas. Someone had discovered an error with the IGT chip in the video in a certain video poker machine. Did you hear about this?
Yeah, American.
So,
Where if they played, let's just say you were playing video poker on, you went to a certain screen where most people don't go.
There's
first.
a certain computer
Yes,
sequence.
there's a sequence. Like you go to the bet number screen and you bet up to 5 or maximum bet, and then you go to the main screen and then you choose the game on dimes and then you play it. Well, if you play it and when you hit a royal flush or 4 aces with the kicker, if you're playing double bonus, you could then go back after it had counted the chips, right? After it had counted, or as it was counting the wins, you could go back to the main screen and choose dollars, and it would change the denomination into dollars.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, this was
I'm sorry. As it's going ding 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 ding
Yeah,
ding,
as it's going-
as it's doing all that,
you can go back,
change it over,
you can
and
change
then
it into dollars,
bing.
and all of a sudden it pays.
Wow!
Now this was a legitimate glitch in the program, and it cost the casinos a fair amount of money because there was a couple of groups that had discovered this purely by accident. So I was at the casino yesterday, and there was a guy that was sitting down and playing only IGT double screen machines, where he was doing literally that. He was running through a sequence of menu pages, game selection, denominations, playing one hand, doing it again and again and again. The only reason someone's doing that is if they think that there's some pattern of data entry that they can put into,
or they're crazy,
or they're mad, into the machine that's going to pay out. Is that cheating? Before the show, I would have said yes, but after we've discussed,
what swayed you, Nick? It's interesting because we were discussing this
He was
earlier,
wagering.
and now you're saying you kind of come back the other way. Why?
Well, because I don't think that's cheating. I think that's finding an edge in
Kind of like Ivy.
Like Ivy. Pulling a chip back is cheating. Pulling cards out of your sleeve, old-fashioned, is cheating. I tell you what else is cheating. These guys that collude, they have their little thing in their shoe and they punch it and they tap their shoe. It goes to some guy in a central location that has other people walking around the casino with they have these groups that do this.
Seem to know an awful lot about
That's cheating.
this. Yeah.
That's cheating. But if you find a glitch, and Frank brought up a scenario, right? What if you were playing a video poker machine and every time you pressed the button, it dealt you 4 of a kind for $250?
Like 4 sevens, the same hand.
Whatever, 4 sevens, right? But not a jackpot hand, but just something for $250. And you could sit there and play hand after hand after hand and make $250. How long would you do that for? Is that cheating?
Just 2 questions, Frank. Number one is, if you wanted to maximize your EV, how many tickets would you stack up before you walk away and say, I better take my money? And then, or second of all, is that ethical? The two questions. Can you answer those? You find a broken machine. It pays you $250 a hand. You know there's a glitch. Number one, how many tickets do you stack up, and is it ethical?
Well, I would put it just in. It's supposed to be random, but let's say in the random number generator, it dealt you like 4 sevens with a queen, $250, and you play it off, keeps dealing it to you. Now you know there's something wrong with the thing. It's being frozen. I would sit there. I honestly would sit there and cash out $12.50, just keep going by, and your defense is if they came and said, what are you doing here? You're cheating. I would say, well, I thought it was random. It can keep dealing me 4 sevens with the queen. I thought it,
I've been struck by lightning 18 times in a row.
How many times have you not even gotten money back in $400 and you tell a slot host, boy, this machine hasn't given me a pair of jacks in $400, and she says, oh, I'm sorry, it's random. Right? So now it's random.
I'm convinced.
All right, we got to go to break. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, I suppose. When we come back, we're
going to rob a bank, I think.
When we come back, World Series of Poker. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip, or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently, even if you've tried another other company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
Walk the dog has a separate meaning.
All right, folks. Yeah. Woof, woof.
We're still arguing. We're still arguing 40 minutes into the show.
All right.
Walk the dog.
Yeah, you got to walk the dog.
Here we go.
I get it.
Can we change the subject, Mr. Gaber?
Yes, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA Radio Network, SB Nation Radio Network, and of course, a very big hello to our men and women in uniform around the world serving our great nation, listening on the American Forces Network. It is an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be speaking with you, as we do on this particular show every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And then Fifth Street Sports is also on every day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific, that's 4 p.m. Eastern, and then again 6 p.m.
Nick
Pacific.
Gaber, I don't know how you have a voice. You're on the air with
9 p.m. Eastern.
Nick Webster 5 days a week. You have absolutely... Did you check out some of the best stuff I've seen on the World Cup? This has been going on for about 4 or 5 weeks now. You're there every single day for an hour. That's 5 days a week. Then this show. And by the way, your stuff's been really good. I can't wait to hour 2. I'm just going to, this is a cliffhanger here. It's called the cliffhanger. Hang on. We're going to get Nick Gaber's picks on the World Cup finale tomorrow, which is Sunday, I should say.
Yeah, exciting stuff. But there is another big finale going on right now as we speak, guys. The World Series of Poker final table is playing out right now. It is here in Las Vegas at the Rio. It is the culmination. Now, it used to be, Nolan, because you were the communications director at the World Series of Poker for, God knows, 2 decades almost.
20 years,
right? Yeah. It used to be, we've gone through cycles here. It used to be that the main event was held, was the final event of the World Series of Poker. And it was sort of the flagship event, $10,000 buy-in. You know, when the main event's done, it's all done. And, of course, as we've gone on, it's no longer the biggest payout event in the World Series of Poker. I believe the one drop is bigger now, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, because it's $1 million. By the way, it cost $1 million to enter, and they have, I think they would sell it out. It's around, forgive me, 42 or 48 players. So, it's the first prize is like $20 million,
right,
$18 million.
And Antonio won it, of course.
Right, and then meanwhile, the World Series of Poker winner wins a paltry $8.5 million.
Right.
You know.
But now, of course, they've got the $50,000 no limit hold'em buy-in event going on at the same time as the main event. Final tables going on. So they've got a couple other events, but the one drop is now the big finale, so to speak. And the main event is the big sort of public event, I suppose is the best way to put it, because let's be honest, Joe Blow's not showing up with $1 million at the cage saying, buy me in. But we are down to the final table. Before we get to it and talk about the 3 players that are remaining that are worthwhile talking about and some of the play that's got them there, a couple of things I would like to bring up about poker. Number one is what an incredible thing it was for Joe Cater to make the final table. He won it in 2009, the main event, a field of, 6,800, I think it was, in 2009, something along those lines. He made it through to the final table this year. I think he eliminated in 5th place. 5th place for $2.1 million. Dollars. It's hardly, no one's crying for him, trust me. But what an achievement, Nolan. I mean, to be able to navigate the size of those fields and come through to the final table again and again, because literally again was the first time, and again 09 and
let me just, can I have 30 seconds? Let me put that into perspective, if I may. And I'm not a real statistical guy, but I'm going to give you some numbers.
We do have one on the show, by the way.
Okay, and so Oklahoma can come in and on the top of me, and he can move all in, and I'll fold. But let me say this, that if you were to play the world, again, let's assume 7,500 players. If you play this event every single year for your adult life, which is, let's say, age 21 up to 81. I'll just say you live, 60 years
60
or whatever
playing years.
60 playing years. Do you know how many times you're going to finish, statistically speaking, do you know how many times you're going to finish in the top, not the final table, how many times are you going to finish in the top 100? You know what the answer is? 1. Statistically speaking, you should finish in the top 100 of a 7,500-player field once in your life. That's assuming everything was equal and you were flipping coins, rolling dice, whatever is a random generator.
Not like terrible players, right?
Well, you got the best players in the world in this event. This is not a. You're going to need a lot of luck. A lot of things go right to not only make this top 100 a couple of times, to make the final table twice with 7,000 player fields. That is a stunning. By the way, Mark Newhouse did this. He did it back to back. He did it a few years ago as well. I want to call out Mark Newhouse. Just staggering. And by the way, so people don't realize what an amazing accomplishment it is just to get to that final 9. And then to do it twice, it's just an amazing thing.
Isn't it, in many respects, an equally incredible accomplishment for John Sin, I believe it is, who's at the final table, down to one of the final 3 people, to have been the 10th player at the World Series of Poker, last in 2016, and to be the 3rd player today.
Oh, I didn't know that. He finished 10th.
I believe
now he's got a chance to win.
Was he the bubble boy, or did he?
Well, anyway, Oklahoma, come over the top of us and say, how impressive are these just from a statistical point of view?
I can't even get my mind wrapped around it. It's unbelievable. And I also know very little about poker, but yeah, the math is overwhelming, and it really does kind of refute this argument that I hear a lot of good players say, well, I can't do well in the World Series main event because it's full of idiots. And I mean, yeah, maybe there is a little bit of unpredictability in the early stages, but you really have to not only be a good player, but I think be, somewhat of an athlete to endure that many hours of, playing without a mistake.
Yeah, let me
too many mistakes.
Well said.
Let me just clarify. He finished 11th, so he was indeed the bubble boy.
That is amazing.
The 2016 World Series of Poker took home $650,000, and then 2 years later is currently in. I believe he's in second place, right?
Let me just call out somebody else, Kelly Minton.
Sure.
2015. She, by the way, if you don't know that name, a very, very charismatic young lady from, I think, Phoenix or Annucias from Arizona. But she finished 50th this year. Like, okay, who cares, 50th? She was the top, the last standing woman or last sitting woman a couple of years ago in 2015, finishing 26th or something. But if you think of why is anyone even is poker a game of skill? I keep hearing this. Wait a minute, this is 2018. Have you not figured out that this is a game of absolute skill, and it requires, as Brian Allen is talking about, it requires an immense amount of discipline and endurance. He's absolutely right.
And
Nolan, I have a question for you. To your knowledge, has this ever been done? Has anybody ever entered the main event in a year, or has anybody ever entered the main event in a scenario where they did not know how to play poker within 7 days of the main event? In other words, let's say the main event starts on Thursday. Do you think anybody's ever entered not knowing how to play poker and having to learn like 4 or 5 days before?
Oh, I love that question. I wish I had more time, but I'll make it very, very short. Absolutely. You've had online qualifiers during the poker boom who were kind of clueless and just the deck ran over them in these, online satellites. If poker people know what I'm talking about here. They sit down. Chris Moneymaker never played live before. I'm not saying he's a foolish player, but he'd never played in a live tournament before. He'd only played online. I'll give you. There's just so many situations where players have sit down, the deck hits them, and David Sklansky, by the way, who's one of the most foremost poker authorities. He's written so many books. He should be in the Poker Hall of Fame, and he's not. I always call out David Sklansky as a mentor to me and anybody who understands poker. David Sklansky one time backed somebody exactly, Brian, as you discuss. It was somebody who sat down. They'd never played before, and so here's what David said to her. It was a lady. He said, "Listen, here's what you do. Anytime you get ace king, anytime you get king king, anytime you get ace ace, shove." Fold everything else. Now, the question was, how long would she last if she just played what you call a purist game, tight purist game? You know what? I don't quote me on these numbers. I think there were 512 players that year. She finished like 112th. She outlasted 70% of the field doing nothing but auto-shoving on these premium hands. By the way, that shows you something about discipline.
That's very interesting because, and then you can look at sort of the way you're quote-unquote supposed to play. It was fascinating to watch the elimination of Joe Cater, for example, who went out. He was getting relatively short stacked. They were about to have a level break coming up, so his stack was going to be worth less once the blinds and antes went up. And he got a pair of tens. He pushed all in with a pair of tens, was called with the 2 overs with ace-king. Miles called him with ace-king, and of course that's a 55-45 coin flip hand, basically, at that point. And I believe a ace flopped or king flopped. One of the two flopped, and he was eliminated. So, there are ways that you can play this that's fairly rote and formulaic. But then when you see guys calling down the big bluffs or guys making big bluffs and picking up big flops, that's sort of the stuff that is really the art of poker as opposed to the book of poker. And I think the best players are the ones that can obviously take all of the aspects of that and apply them to their game.
I would say that, as somebody who wrote the book on Stu Unger and New Stu, I think, Frank, you knew him as well, talk about the forebearer of a lot of things that Nick has just talked about. I've seen and heard stories of Stu Unger. Again, ladies and gentlemen, listen to what I'm about to say. If you've got a hand and you're playing poker and you have all your chips on the table and you've got king high, that means you have no pair. That means you have nothing. I've seen Stu Unger call people down and win 6-figure pots with king high. That's poker. That's talent. That's greatness. There's not many in that category.
No, that's true. But I think getting back to Brian's question, you may not have answered that completely. Brian, like you're talking about a guy that's like walking around the Rio on Monday, and the pit boss says to him, "This is a king and this is a queen. This beats this beats that," and all of a sudden somebody puts him in the World Series, right? I mean, you weren't talking about a guy that won it online and got in, right?
No. In 2006, somebody entered me into the World Series, and I didn't know if a straight beat a flush or, like the king and the queen example.
Right.
I didn't know anything about poker, so I got entered in on a Sunday night. I had 4 days to learn how to play.
Did you play? How did you do?
I did all right. Yeah, I made it past the dinner break, and I was actually one of the Shipley table initially, and I did pretty well. I still have a pretty prominent eye disease. At the time, I couldn't see the community cards in the center, and so really my strategy was entirely based on body language and just reading people, looking at people. Oftentimes, I wouldn't even look at my own cards because I really didn't know what I had. So,
by the way, real quick, Brian, I'm not making this up. I never realized I'm connecting the dots right now. I am not making up what I'm about to say. There's a fellow named Lee Watkinson who wanted to put in Nick Eber, you were there. Yep. You and I, you know what I'm about to say. He wanted to put in a chimpanzee. This is a true story. He wanted to pay $10,000 and let a chimpanzee play in the 2006 World Series of Poker. Brian, I never connected the dots to know it was you. Wow.
Hey, but it doesn't make sense to me that they wouldn't allow a chimpanzee to be entered, but they allowed Brian Wilson to enter. I mean, what's going on with that?
But you know what's scary, Nolan? You know that thing you were telling about Skalansky giving that girl the buy-in and said every time you get queen, or better, just shove it all in, right? He had a flaw in his plan after day 3. Because let's say she made it to day 3, right? If on day 3 he would have said, "All right, honey, come over here. We're going to change our strategy." Anytime you get a 9 or less, shove it all in. She would have lasted longer.
Good point.
Because the first 3 days,
he might have, by the way. I'm telling you the clip notes of the story.
When she shoved it all in and turned over aces and ace king, on the 4th day she shoves it all in. Everybody folds their hand. You know what I mean? Everybody folds their hand. So.
Good point. Interesting. Anyway, that's going to wrap up our discussion of the World Series of Poker. We didn't even get to the
We're just getting started.
Yeah, I know. Just as it's getting good. When we come back, we're going to wrap up the hour, get you ready for the next hour. We got all sorts of fun stuff coming up in hour number 2 here on Fifth Street Sports on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radio networks. Find us on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. Make sure that you come back in 3 minutes because we'll be here.
It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California. Dedicated to your health, your life, and your sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed specifically for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Good trouble.
We're still arguing off the air.
All right, welcome back to the show, Fifth Street Sports. We're not arguing in a good way. We're not disagreeing with each other. Well, we are maybe, but Nick Ebert, Nolan Dowler, Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian. We are going to be with you for another hour coming up after the top of the hour news here. We hope you enjoyed the show.
What are we talking about hour 2, Nick?
Well, we're going to be talking. We're going to do some sports
rapid fire.
Rapid fire, right, Nolan?
That's the top of the hour. But boy, I can't wait. If you're not, listen. If you're an American and you haven't watched any of the World Cup, which is kind of like the biggest sporting event in the world yet, do yourself a favor, Nick, and tune in. Spend 2 or 3 hours of your life watching the majesty of the world's greatest sporting event. Agreed?
Absolutely. And the soccer in this country has an interesting reputation as a boring game, a game played by, quote, grass fairies and people that fall over. And, this is all such nonsense. It's not a full contact sport like football. I can tell you that a rugby player would probably could make the same argument of American football players. So it's a different type of game. It's exciting. It's fun. It's the world loves it, and America loves it too. But the World Cup is going, and the final game.
And we're going to get your picks. We're going to get your picks for Sunday's final.
Going to get our picks for Sunday's final, and we're going to give you some special betting strategies on how to bet the World Cup Golden Ball Award. You're only going to hear it here on Fifth Street Sports, and if you want to make a profit, make sure your sports betting provider will do in-game betting. If they do, you want to bet the Golden Ball, and you want to stay tuned to this show because we're going to tell you how to make a small fortune. And when you get it and you win, send us a picture of your Lamborghini, your Ferrari, your Bugatti, depending on how much you bet. Oklahoma Brian, I'm still waiting for yours. All right, we're going to step aside, take a break, and be back with hour number 2 of Fifth Street Sports on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radio Networks, of course, American Forces, YouTube, iHeart, TuneIn, Twitch, everywhere.
If I win a fortune, I'll be back to even.
We'll be right back.
You're clear.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent. A British opposition leader is criticizing President Trump for failing to meet with any real people during his visit to the UK. British Labour Party leader Jeremy Corbyn, speaking to Sky News, says he only met with government ministers and the Queen.
That is not an effective visit. He didn't visit any communities, didn't meet anybody.
Trump also played golf with his son at a Trump course in Edinburgh. Sunday he flies to Helsinki for his summit with Putin on Monday. President Trump says he'll discuss the Russian intelligence officers' hacking of Democratic Party computers in Helsinki, but Congressman Gerald Nadler is among Democrats urging the president to cancel the summit.
We now know the Russian military intelligence was hacking the Democratic National Committee, the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, was trying to throw the election to Trump.
Senator Mark Warner says if the summit does go on, which the White House says it will, the indictment should be a top priority. You're listening to USA Radio News.
Ugh, you guys, I am so ready for the beach.
I'm not.
What? The trip is coming up soon.
Yeah, my beach body is nowhere close to where I want it to be. Same here. I've got to lose some weight before we go. Plus, I know you're going to want to post pictures from the trip all over Facebook.
Well, why don't you guys try Calitrin?
Calitrin? That sounds really familiar.
It's super easy to take, and it's even healthy for you. You just take it at bedtime, and it does all the work for you.
You're joking.
No, I'm not joking, and you're going to feel good taking it.
So I got the Calitrin, and I got into pants that I had not been into in a year and a half. It also took my hot flashes away.
Hey, this was Jack, and I've been using Calitrin. I used to go to the chiropractor at least once a week. The Calitrin has definitely helped me, and I definitely recommend it to anybody.
This is Lynn. I've been on Calitrin, and I love it, and I've lost 45 pounds.
So where can I get Calitrin?
You can go to their website at toploss.com, or you can call them at 833-TOP-LOSS.
Emotional moments coming after a court-ordered deadline by a federal judge in California requiring that children younger than 5 separated under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance policy be reunited with their parents at the border. Officials say 57 of the 103 kids are now back with their parents, but that the other 46 were deemed ineligible. The ACLU says there are still thousands of older children separated from their parents. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents arrested 18 human smugglers and 117 illegal immigrants from 3 different stash houses located in southern New Mexico and El Paso, Texas. The agency announced in an online statement Friday that ICE worked alongside agents with the U.S. Border Patrol, seizing cash cars and drugs during that massive sting operation last month. Chinese State Councilor Yang Jiechi says China believes a trade war is not the solution to the recent tariff dispute between the two countries.
China doesn't want a trade war, but China is not afraid of it.
He made his comments at the opening of Beijing's World Peace Forum. This is USA Radio News.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go and pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-215-5141. 800-215-5141. That's 800-215-5141.
Responding to President Trump's pick for the Supreme Court, Senator Richard Blumenthal delivered the weekly Democratic address. The Connecticut senators urging all Americans to mobilize everyone they know and protest Judge Kavanaugh's nomination, as they did during the fight over the Affordable Care Act.
Judge Kavanaugh poses a grave threat to women's health care and the weakening of Roe v. Wade. We know he will vote to effectively eliminate the Affordable Care Act and undermine protections for millions of Americans.
Earlier this week, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham called on Democrats to put party differences aside and confirm Kavanaugh. He told reporters he'd voted in favor of 2 justices during President Obama's tenure, despite their liberal bent, because they were qualified.
I ask no more of you than I ask of myself.
used the qualification standard. Having said that, I know most won't. What I did back then is no longer the standard.
Angelique Kerber wins her third career Grand Slam title, beating Serena Williams 6-3, 6-3. Kerber spoke to ESPN after her match.
I cannot describe this. I mean, like I said, I was always dreaming for this moment, and it came through. And, you know, I was putting so much work on court on every single day with my team, with my friends, with my family, and everybody was supporting me my whole life. And, you know, without them, I couldn't play my best tennis also today, and you know, that's a huge thing for me.
For USA Radio News, I'm Rick Vincent.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Why? Because
All right, round two. Stand by.
set on packages compared to your high-priced cable bill. Wow. Take those giant scissors out and cut the cable and save with Dish TV. Plus, you get a free DVR upgrade to record your favorite shows and free installation. And with Dish Anywhere, you can watch TV for free on your mobile device. Act fast. You can save hundreds of dollars. Does your cable company do that for you? Get all the best TV programming at your fingertips at a fraction of the price of cable TV. So say adios, arrivederci, goodbye to the high cable bill and save up to 45% on Dish TV packages today. These are limited time offers and can change at any time. Call fast. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. 800-405-2561. That's 800-405-2561.
Welcome to Fifth Street Sports on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation radio networks. I'm Nick Geber, along with Nolan Dalla from Frank Perez, and somewhere out in the great state of Oklahoma, we have Oklahoma Brian joining us as well. We have a great show to get to today, a great hour ahead of us. Our topics are going to be the World Cup final. We're going to talk about strategies for betting the World Cup Golden Ball, which is the MVP award, essentially, for the World Cup. And we're going to hopefully take your calls, questions, and comments along the way. It's great to be with you here.
And you know what? If you're broke like me, I am just dying, Nick Geber, to hear you, Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez. I need a winner for Sunday's World Cup match. I need a winner. I don't care where I get it. I'll bet on handball. I'll bet on soccer. Give me a winner, sir.
Well, we're going to give it to you right here on the show. We're going to give you our picks for Sunday's World Cup final between Croatia and France. We're going to tell you where the value is, what to bet. We'll give you the money line. We'll give you the total goals. We'll tell you where we see it going. Is it going to be in regulation? Is it not?
Have you already seen the game played? It sounds like you got tomorrow's newspaper.
I got it tomorrow's newspaper today. By the way, the last hour, if you weren't listening or watching, you can always find the replays on our website at FifthStreetSports.com.
At www.fifthstreetsports, that's with a 5, fifthstreetsports.com. You can watch every single thing that we have done in the past, and some of it's pretty embarrassing.
Right. Now, I just want to mention, we were talking a little World Series of Poker. I just looked myself up on the Hendon Mob Poker database.
Is there such an entry?
I am 371,327th on the all-time money list, guys. My big win came in 2005 at the $100 plus 20 no-limit hold'em at Larry Flint's Grand Slam of Poker in Gardena, California. I came 11th, Bubble Boy, for $540.
By the way, I must say that if you're 370 whatever thousandth, you're in the top 1% of the whole world as far as poker players. Well done, sir.
All right. Time for a break. We're going to set it all up and get ready to bring you this hour of Fifth Street Sports. Of course, Sunday's World Cup final between France and Croatia will dominate the discussion. Nick Geber, Frank Perez, Nolan Dalla, Oklahoma Brian. We're going to give it all to you. So make sure you have pen, paper ready for our great picks we're going to give you. But also...
And money in hand, too.
And money in hand. Also ready, go online and join the discussion, folks. Find us at FifthStreetSports.com. We'll be right back after this.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252. Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Do you have Medicare and do you use a CPAP machine? This is a national healthcare alert regarding your CPAP supplies. Using a clean CPAP mask and clean supplies is important to staying healthy. The best way to make sure your CPAP equipment is clean is to get new supplies. If you have Medicare, we have great news. Medicare will pay for you to have new clean supplies every 90 days. We'll even do all the paperwork for you to make sure that there's little to no out-of-pocket cost to you. And you don't even have to leave your home. We provide free in-home delivery. So if you're a CPAP user and you have Medicare, staying healthy with new CPAP equipment is easy. Just make this free phone call right now to get started.
Call the CPAP hotline now. 800-430-4234. 800-430-4234. That's 800-430-4234. Copays and deductibles apply. Supplies are replaced in accordance with Medicare guidelines.
All right, welcome back. Sunday, the big game. We're not talking about the Super Bowl, people. We're talking about the World Cup final. Welcome back, Fifth Street Sports. Nick and Frank and Nolan and Oklahoma. Now, when you sign, do you just say O'Brien? O.Brien?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good.
OKB.
Like that.
OKB. That's his rap name,
that.
OKB.
Yeah.
I like it. We're going to get you some
Oklahoma
chains.
Brian.
We're going to get him some chains, I think. Do you need some gold chains?
You like a rapper or something?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Mr.
Like a
T
rapper.
or something?
Yeah. Well, he's not going to see. He has an iPod.
I think he's got a chain on. Look at this. Those of you who are listening on radio, you just have to trust us on this. What is that? What is that necklace? Is that like a? What is that? Is that a collar?
It's his headset.
It's my headphones.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Speaking of having an eye problem, Nolan, I believe you would qualify for that one.
No, that's alcohol.
They are nice. Hey, speaking of, what are we drinking this week?
It's real funny. Real quick, and I'm going to throw this back to you in a second because we have the France-Croatia international match coming up. I wanted to do, gentlemen, a blind taste test on wines. I was going to bring a Croatian wine in. Obviously, there's great French wines. I couldn't find a Croatian wine that was sold here in Las Vegas, so I just got to drink French wine. I guess I'm cheering for France now.
There we go. Based on the wine test.
Yeah.
Nolan, rapid fire.
Rapid fire. Gentlemen, those of you who have never tuned in with us before, here's what we do. We do about 8 to 10 minutes of rapid fire. You only have about 15 to 20 seconds to answer the following questions. Usually we do nothing but soccer, our World Cup. Today we're going to open it up to all sports. Are you ready, gentlemen?
Yes.
Brian, first one's going to be for you. I'm going to throw it over to Oklahoma. Here we go. Belgium on Saturday beat England in the third place World Cup match. Does anybody care? Should there be a third place Snooze fest soccer game. Brian, Oklahoma Brian, what do you say?
Only because it's one more thing to bet on. And it further validates my belief in human greyhounds. More games they play, the more things we can bet on.
All right, the junkie has spoken. What do you say, Frank?
I do like it because since there's a 4-day lag between the semifinals to the final, it kind of gets everybody back like a day early, back in the soccer spirit for the final.
Good.
I don't think the game should exist, but it exists, and teams that play it should play it seriously because it affects their FIFA ranking coefficient, which affects seeding for future tournaments. But most importantly, the payout structure for the World Cup money to the national teams is based on where you finish. So apparently it's about a $2.5 million difference between third and fourth place. And some of these associations, not the Belgian or the English ones, obviously, really, really need the money.
I was almost swayed by that. That was good. I was ready to fire this out of my cannon, but you kind of swayed me a little bit. Real quick, NFL, before the NFL-AFL merger in 1970, the NFL used to have something called the Pro Bowl. It meant the two teams that lost the championship game would play in this meaningless game. It was called the Pro Bowl. Nobody cared. They get 25,000 people in the stadium. Nobody cared about winning a third place win. I think soccer is kind of the same way, but I can see the financial benefits of that. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to the question number 2. By the way, I need a breather here. Brian, what are you drinking today, sir?
Kind of a slow day. I'm still on iced tea, but I'm going to upgrade.
Iced tea? Oh, my goodness.
As we wrap up.
Shut him
the
off.
Long Island variety,
Yeah,
perhaps?
there we go. Texas or Long Island, sir. Texas or Long Island. Number 2, FIFA President Gianni Infantino, the Italiano, says the World Cup changed the perception of Russia. He changed the World Cup. All these games took place in Russia. It changed the perception, the world's perception of Russia, obviously for the good. True or false, Nick Geber?
Yeah, I think probably right. Good PR, certainly a very good PR move for Russia, and I think they maximized it. So I would say whether it changed the world's, probably not, but it was good PR. There we go.
Sure was. Frank?
I guess on the surface it looks good, but anybody that really knows the in-depth things of it, it probably didn't make any difference. But for the surface,
we have our own scandals here in the United States about Russia.
Absolutely,
but,
absolutely.
All right, Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think it was a big win for Russia, but I guess I would agree with Frank. I think that it doesn't change who they are or what they're about, but yeah.
They did a good job, but they're still kind of the evil empire, yes?
Change the wrapper.
All right, gentlemen, on to question number 3. I'm old enough to remember when the baseball all-star game, which was always played in the middle of July, was something to savor, something to really, you would stop everything and watch the all-star baseball game. That's coming up here this week. Frank Perez, do we care about the baseball all-star game any longer?
Absolutely. I'm just with Brian. It's just another event, and it also gives us the home run derby we can bet on. It's just another event for the Greyhounds to get out there, and we can bet on them.
Nick?
No, I think as more and more sports, Nolan, have proliferated to cable TV, the internet, from globally, I think all-star games in general are losing their relevance. I certainly also think the steroid scandal really hurt baseball's all-star game and the home run derby and all that sort of stuff. I think it's had trouble recovering from it.
Excellent. Oklahoma, do you care about the baseball all-star game? Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's clearly the only all-star game that's actually played like a real game, so I give it credit for that. I can't think of any other all-star game that actually resembles a real game. So yeah, I like the all-star game, and I watch it actually.
Fair enough.
Even when I bet on baseball, I don't watch it. It's the most boring thing in the world. An all-star game that's meaningless. I'd rather watch Matlock.
No,
Go ahead.
But isn't it for home field in the World Series?
Okay.
I mean, it means something.
Let's move on, shall we? Because we've been talking about soccer so much, we missed a story that was big in the world of sports the last couple of weeks. LeBron James is going to the Los Angeles Lakers. Is this a game changer? Does this mean the Golden State Warriors, the super team, really now have something to fear in the West in the NBA? Oklahoma Brian.
Absolutely not. I think that the Lakers will be a better team, and they'll probably, finish around the 3 or 4 seed. But no, I don't think they're a threat to the Warriors this year or any year over the next 2 or 3 years.
Such a pessimist, such a hater. Frank Perez.
Gosh, yeah, they still need another player or two. He's not going to be enough, but yeah, it'll be fun. Put it that way, it'll be fun.
Yep. Our host, Mr. Nick Geber.
Well, I actually disagree with both of you. I think this coming season probably not. But look, Jeannie Buss wants to build a new dynasty at the Lakers. I think her acquisition of LeBron James shows that they want to do that. But, like we saw last year with the Cavaliers, LeBron he can get them far on his own, but he needs a supporting cast around him. So depending on I know the Buss family, Jeannie, will put the money in, and they will get them. It just depends what's out there on free agency and how the younger players they have will continue to develop. But I know that's the plan, and I expect they will give the Warriors a run for their money.
My answer, it's not about winning championships. It's about selling tickets. The Los Angeles Lakers will be the hottest ticket in town for the next at least year or two.
That is a guarantee.
Win for LA Lakers.
Great point.
Question number 5. Let's volley for some tennis. Serena Williams upset in the Wimbledon match by Angelique Kerber. Doesn't matter. This would have been, had she prevailed in the Wimbledon, she would have won her 24th Grand Slam event. Question. We know Roger Federer, the greatest of all time on the male side. How about Serena Williams, best female tennis player of all time? Nick Geber, what do you say?
I'm going to go a step further, Nolan. I'm going to say she's the greatest female athlete of all time.
Wow.
I think she is I can't say enough thing. I could spend 3 hours gushing about Serena Williams. I think she's incredible.
Yeah, that's really easy. She is the best player of all time. But where did you get Roger Federer as the best male player of all time?
I think most people know.
Is that Matlock?
But Serena, easy. I would have taken Bjorn Borg over him, but go ahead.
That's a good debate. Yeah, to have.
Okay.
Brian.
Without question, she's the greatest female player of all time, and
greatest female athlete of all time.
Athlete of all time.
I think I'd agree. I think she is.
Yeah, she is. She is quite something else. We have to go to break. What a great question to end on, Nolan. I'm a big fan. So
I'm glad we ended on
Serena. All right, when we come back, folks, World Cup right here. Sunday's World Cup right here. This Street Sports. Don't go anywhere.
The boot and the ball.
If you are age 85 or younger, call to learn more about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network. The average funeral now costs over $10,000. Are you at risk of leaving loved ones to help pay your debts? A final expense policy for seniors can pay up to $30,000 for funeral and other final expenses. You don't need a medical exam, and you can have lifetime coverage, and the policy cannot be canceled. To receive free information about final expense plans from a licensed agent in the Angel Care Network, call now. You'll also receive information about a free prescription discount card just for calling in. Agents are standing by.
Call 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. 800-508-5774. Call now. That's 800-508-5774. It has been said that everyone has a book in them. But do you have the time or the ability to write your book? Maybe you picked up some skills or had a life experience that you want to pass on in the form of a book to help others. Maybe you want to leave an autobiography for your family. Or maybe you've built a successful business and you want to share your story. At Dorrance Publishing Company, we have professional writers who can help turn your book idea into a finished manuscript quickly and affordably. A Dorrance ghostwriter can provide as much or as little help as you need to complete your book. You'll work directly with your ghostwriter to finish your book faster than you ever could on your own. It's easy to become a published author. Call Dorrance now to learn more. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. 800-485-6003. Call right now. That number is 800-485-6003.
When you struggle with credit card bills every month, you're not just in debt. Debt is all around you.
I see people every day that are on the brink. They're going to go over the edge, and at the bottom is bankruptcy, and we pull them back.
At the Debt Helpline, we're experts at helping you resolve your debt problems and become free of debt. We can help you pay off your debt and give you one lower monthly payment that you can afford.
You do get to consolidate your payments. You only have to worry about making one payment a month instead of making 3 or 4 or 5.
If you have $5,000, $10,000 or more in credit card bills, call the Debt Helpline now for a free confidential debt analysis.
800-957-6063. 800-957-6063. Call the CESI Debt Helpline right now for a free confidential debt review. 800-957-6063. 800-957-6063.
Well, you've got everybody excited.
All right, we're back. Fifth Street Sports. Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio, American Forces, YouTube, Twitch, iHeartRadio. Oh, I'm running out. What else? What else do we have? YouTube, Twitch, iHeart. Did I miss anything? I don't know. Oh, thank you. Putting it up there for me. Tune in. Tune in. I knew it. I knew it was there somewhere. All right, Nick and Frank and Nolan in Oklahoma with you here. Sunday's World Cup is the biggest sporting event every 4 years on the planet, both in terms of television viewership, in terms of money, in terms of betting, the number of people that bet it, the amount of the size of the World Cup betting market is just enormous. It's every 4 years. But don't worry, folks, if you've enjoyed the football, the soccer, I'll call it here for you. If you've enjoyed the soccer at the World Cup, there are a lot more events happening in the world of soccer for you that are also massively bet events. So I'll just give you a little calendar here. Get your pen, get your paper, get ready. August the 10th, the English Premier League starts again. This is the number one most bet sports league in the world.
More than the NFL?
More than the NFL.
Really?
This is the number one most bet sports league in the world. Manchester United, Chelsea, Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal. These are the teams that you know.
By the accent
Tottenham.
that I'm hearing, it sounds like those are the teams you know.
Well, of course, I grew up with them, but there are other huge leagues. La Liga.
If you're
in
an
Spain.
American, how do you follow this, and how do you get interested in?
Every match is on NBC.
Oh,
and NBC Sports. But there are other huge leagues as well. They're just not as high profile in terms of betting and in terms of media distribution here in the United States. La Liga in Spain, we'll see Barcelona and Real Madrid and Sevilla and Atletico Madrid. They'll all play in those leagues. That's where you will see Lionel Messi. You'll see Luis Suarez. You will see great players, although Real Madrid are not the Galacticos of the past. They're in transition. We'll discuss that on our soccer show. Italy has the bigger, Serie A has the big Italian teams.
And
but the Premier League
if you want to see Ronaldo, you have to watch.
You have to freeze France now, no?
France.
Ronaldo's gone to Juventus. Pardon me, Italy, yeah. Ronaldo's
Juventus,
gone to
right,
Juventus,
right,
and you have to go see him in Italy. If you want to see Neymar, you have to watch Paris Saint-Germain in the French Ligue 1. Now, anyway, so where am I going with this? The Premier League starts August the 10th. Be sure to pencil that in. So it's very quick between the end of the World Cup, which is this Sunday, and the start of the Premier League. Also, next summer, folks, we have the Women's World Cup, which is another heavily bet event. Then we go into the next following summer, there's the Euros, Euro 2000. Euro 2000, let's do it.
2020.
Euro
Easy for you to
2020.
say.
I'm old. Massive bet event.
Kind of like what your eyesight isn't.
Right.
2020.
Then the
that.
next year, the World Cup is in Qatar, and it's actually in 2021, in November, December, in Qatar during the winter, and that's when the World Cup.
Oh, I didn't know that, really.
Yeah.
Because it's so, so hot, right?
And lots of discussion about that. So there's not even a full 4-year gap. It's more of a 3.5-year gap. So loads of stuff on the calendar. Of course, the most recent stuff, though, the most imminent betting event on the soccer calendar is Sunday's World Cup final between France and Croatia. There are 2 awards that are given out, amongst others, during the World Cup. One of them is the Golden Boot Award, which is for the top scorer. And right now, barring a hat trick by Mbappe of France, it's going to be Harry Kane of England. Well, it will be, even with a hat trick from Mbappe, they would share it because he has 3 goals, Kane has 6 goals. Now, England are eliminated from the tournament. They lost their third place game. They came in 4th. So the Golden Boot award isn't really worth looking at. Harry Kane is going to win that. But the Golden Ball award goes to the most valuable player. Now, most of you would think that this is, and I'm going to run down some of the odds.
Excuse me, Nick. That most valuable player doesn't mean just for the game; it means for the entire
tournament,
right?
Correct.
It's kind of like the MVP of the league or of the series.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So I'm going to run down some of the top MVP, shall we say, Golden Ball winners. Here are the odds on them. Kylian Mbappe of France is currently at -112. And that would likely, if I'm looking at the rest of these odds, make him the favorite. The next is Luka Modric of Croatia. He is at +200. Then you have Antoine Griezmann of France at +975. Griezmann. Why on Fox do they make him sound like he's an Obergruppenführer in the Waffen-SS? This is Griezmann. Please. He's French, for crying out loud. Okay, all right.
Maybe he's from Alsace.
Antoine. Okay, and then we have, N'Golo Kante at +1950. Then we have Paul Pogba, France, with +2250. Then we have 3150 Eden Hazard. Wow, look at that, Eden Hazard. That's an interesting choice. 3150 of Belgium. And then we have Harry Kane at 5250 of England. And then we have Kevin De Bruyne. Romelu Lukaku of Belgium at +9,000 and Kevin De Bruyne at +10,000. So 100 to 1, right? No, it'd be 1,000. 10,000 would be 1,000 to 1, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the odds. So obviously Mbappe and Modric are the 2 favorites, and Griezmann not too far behind. Okay, so one would say, well, just place your bet on this. Go for the favorite. But the point about the Golden Ball Award isn't the fact that they give it; it's the way they give it. Now, I had an opportunity to talk to my co-host Nick Webster about this on Fifth Street Soccer. Nick has attended multiple World Cups as a correspondent and play-by-play guy with Fox.
He's actually had a media pass, and he's voted on this, yes?
So he has the insight. It's not so much the award itself, guys. It's how it's calculated that really can give you an edge. Watch and listen to this.
What do you think, Nick?
Absolutely no chance. But let me tell you how the Golden Ball voting works. And I'm sure you're not familiar, and I'm sure many of the viewers and listeners...
Please enlighten me.
It's absolutely, it's quite a joke. Midway through the second half of the final, FIFA distributes ballots via paper and online to the journalists present. You then fill out who you think is the best player of the tournament while the final is going on. And I know this for a fact because in 2006, all of us are up in the press box filling out our Golden Ball winner for the final, and we all put down who? Zinedine Zidane, who 45 minutes later nutted Materazzi, got himself chucked out of the game, and probably cost France the World Cup final. How is that possible that he was the MVP of the tournament when he behaved in the manner that he did, despite the provocation? I mean, he cost his country the World Cup final. You cannot be the MVP of the tournament in those kind of circumstances. And that's how it's gone every World Cup. So for my money, the...
Okay, so what Nick was going to go on to say was that here's the strategy. I mean, it's ridiculous how they do that, by the way. I mean, it's so archaic, isn't it?
Let's have some audio, guys.
Okay, we need some audio here. It's a little archaic on how that's done. If they're tied at halftime, then this is what Nick recommends, okay? If France and Croatia are tied at halftime...
Could be 0-0, 1-1, doesn't it?
Right. He says Luka Modric...
I'm sorry, you can bet this in-game?
Yeah, you have to bet this in-game.
Wow.
And I know there are places that will let you bet this in-game. If it's tied at halftime, you want to bet for Luka Modric, and he's currently at plus 200. Okay.
What's the reasoning behind that?
Well, because he is the engine room of Real Madrid. European champion, much beloved. This is his last World Cup cycle at his age, and there's a general feel-good factor about Luka Modric. Plus, Andrew, you see you shaking your head over there. Plus, he is very much a fan favorite because he plays with Real Madrid, and they do get a lot of people that love them just for that reason.
All right,
He's also been incredibly good. Let's not forget, he has run the midfield for Croatia. The Croatia midfield with Rakitic and Modric has been unreal good. And so Modric is sort of the poster child of this. So vote for Modric, because right now he is everybody's favorite son.
Nick, does that mean he have to score the goal?
No, he's a midfielder. He's only scored one goal maybe, or two.
Is his presence?
No, he's midfield. He runs the midfield. So when Croatia were getting run ragged by England in the first half of their match, it's because they were playing Modric far back, sort of screening the defense essentially. What they changed strategically in the second half is they pushed Modric up and they played a higher line and they allowed Modric to sort of distribute the ball and be more of a playmaker. And once they did that, you saw what happened, right? Game over. So, I mean, he's that influential of a player. He's a terrific player. And really, I mean, he just happens to be everybody's darling for a lot of reasons.
Is it one of those things where there's an old term about somebody's greatness or brilliance on the field doesn't always show up in the stat box? Is that kind of what you're saying?
I would agree with that. I mean, that sort of role that he plays is always tough to stat on. But very much Modric is the man. And so he would win it if it were today, if the vote were taken today. Wow, are we out of time, really? Shocking.
Well, we can come back for another, almost half hour.
Yeah.
And talk about this some more.
Are we really up? Wow, that's incredible. I don't know what to say. I'm shocked.
Time just flew by when you're having fun.
Yeah. All right, when we come back, we'll finish our selections here for the Golden Ball. So we'll tease it. Well, the boots.
And the winner.
But we'll go through our match for Croatia-France when we come back. This is Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio Networks. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us, please.
If you or a loved one is suffering from a physical or emotional condition that has left you unable to work, then listen carefully. Take this number down, 800-593-7491. That's 800-593-7491. When you call, you'll speak with a Social Security disability expert and get a free evaluation to see if you may qualify for disability insurance benefits from the U.S. government. That's right, a monthly cash payment paid directly to you from the Social Security Administration. Whether you're applying for the first time or you've already been denied disability benefits, call now. The disability attorneys at Pinnacle Disability can help you build your case, file an appeal, and represent you at no upfront cost to you. Don't wait another minute to see if you may qualify for your Social Security disability benefits. Call Pinnacle Disability Group at 800-593-7491 for your free case evaluation. That's 800-593-7491. 800-593-7491. Call now.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Attention timeshare owners. This is an urgent consumer alert from Resort Release, a national company specializing in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares. Once you've made that decision to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, Resort Release is offering a Better Business Bureau accredited way to legally get rid of your timeshare, guaranteed. We guaranteed to get rid of your timeshare payments permanently. Even if you've tried another company to get rid of your expensive timeshare, call now and see if we can help you. At Resort Release, you don't pay anything until you're ready. If you're ready to learn how to permanently get rid of your costly timeshare, make this complimentary free call right now.
800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. 800-598-0539. That's 800-598-0539.
All right, welcome back. Fifth Street Sports, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. In the previous segment, we were giving you the strategies for betting the Golden Ball for tomorrow's, Sunday's World Cup final. So I'm just going to reiterate this. If France and Croatia are tied, 0-0, 1-1, whatever the amount is, at halftime, you should put your bet on Luka Modric to win the Golden Ball. If France are ahead and either Kylian Mbappe of France and Antoine Griezmann of France are involved or score the goal, you want to bet on them. Okay?
Excuse me. You probably have to lay a price, though, yes?
Yeah, so
what if you got to lay 190? Is that
Yeah, that'd be good.
That's okay.
Yeah, that'd be good. But right now, I mean, Mbappe's at -112, so I don't know.
If he scores a goal though and it's 1-0 at halftime, he's going to be -350.
He's going to be -350. The thing about the Golden Ball betting is, my understanding is the lines don't change all that often. That this is really an insight into the way this voting is done. That'll give you a potential leg up here. Now, look, that's not meaning to say that they could lose. It could be 0-0 and Croatia could lose in penalties. Luka Modric still wouldn't win. I mean, he might. He's very much everybody's darling.
Hey, Nick, you call it penalties or overtime or whatever does that influence potentially this? If it was tied and they do penalty kicks or the 5 shots, does that potentially influence the Golden Boot?
Not really, because remember the Golden Ball, you mean?
Excuse me.
The Golden Ball is voted on halfway through the second half of the match.
Oh.
So it's already decided before they go to penalties.
That seems crazy.
Well, that's just the way it is. And you're getting that insight here, folks, right here on Fifth Street Sports.
Who would have known that?
I see Brian Allen's, Oklahoma Brian's interest has been piqued. Can we hear? I don't hear Oklahoma here at all.
Oh, you don't hear me?
Yeah, now I got it. Now we got you.
Okay, so let me give you my take on this. I think it's a fascinating point that Nick Webster brings up. And let me tell you how I would attack it. We're assuming that the vote takes place around the 65th or 70th minute, right?
Correct.
Now, let me just preface this by saying I'm a little bit skeptical that anyone's taking live wagering deep into the second half on the Golden Ball. But I'm going to indulge you and say that, okay, it is happening. Here's how I would play it. You might not have an opportunity, but if this happens, if you're pretty certain that the vote takes place around the 65th minute and someone, like let's say Mbappe scores a epic goal at the 80th minute, stick to your guns in your methodology that you laid out and bet Modric. Because in theory, that goal at the 80th minute, the polls have already closed.
Oh, wow.
That's what we're saying.
That goal is irrelevant.
This is such great inside information.
That's it.
In the market, right, it's gonna be chasing Mbappe's goal at the 80th minute. Meanwhile, you zig when everyone else is zagging because you think the voting is concluded, correct?
Well, we know it is, and that's correct, Brian. I mean, that's it. So we're saying, essentially, if it's tied at, say, the 65th minute, vote Modric. If France are ahead and either Mbappe and or Griezmann have had something to do with the goal and or scored it, you want to bet on them. and that's it. Now, remember, this is not the MVP of the game. It's the MVP of the tournament. So voting, you can bet on this all the way through the end of the last game.
I'm looking forward to it. Let's bring it on.
All right. Well, now that we've done that, and we've given you some stellar insight that you'll only get here on Fifth Street Sports, let's talk about the actual match itself, Sunday's final between Croatia and France.
By the way, real quick, before we hear the winners, your pick of the winner, I want to congratulate both of you gentlemen, Frank Perez, Nick Eber. From day one, before we started the World Cup, you both said, by the way, I must call out Elklin O'Brien, Belgium, that's okay. They finished fourth. My team, Uruguay, finished whatever. Yeah, sorry, you're right, third. You both have picked France to win, which I admire. You were there all the way. And by the way, Nick Geber, you were really high in Croatia from the start too. You've absolutely nailed not just one side, but both sides of this tournament. So I'm really interested to hear who you think's going to win.
And in fairness, I've sort of wavered a little bit here and there. But before the tournament, I said France, Belgium, France, Croatia. I never said they were going to win. I said France could win it. And I said Croatia could definitely win.
That was your pick when we put a gun to your head.
Yes, that is correct. That was my pick when you put a gun to my head. And the reasons for that was simple. And this will go to the match analysis I'm going to give you here. Croatia is a very strong team. If they're weak, it's possibly the speed of their defensive back line. They're not a super quick team either. But where they have strength is in midfield. And they have a very good striker up front with Mandzukic, who's really... you saw, against England, he was essentially hobbling on his last legs, and he managed to get that goal in extra time that won it for them. And I honestly didn't think he would even be on the pitch. His injuries and fatigue was so great. So they have a potential match winner in Mandzukic, but most importantly, they have the engine room of the two biggest teams over the last 10 years in Europe. The engine room of Real Madrid and the engine room of Barcelona. And in these tournaments, your midfield is so critically important. They are a very, very dangerous team. They move the ball beautifully. They can control large portions of the game. I think their coach Dalic has really shown that he has the ability to switch things up tactically, depending on the match they're playing. I like them a lot. This is a fantastic team that deserves your serious look and your absolute respect as footballers. This is a team that has played 3 straight extra time games. They've played over a full game more than anybody else out there in the World Cup right now. And we talk. This is also not the youngest team.
Yeah.
This is almost 27 years old.
It's a perfect storm for them to pull this.
All the talk was they'll start fatiguing. It'll cost them. The younger teams will, England, which was the second youngest team in the tournament, will be able to run them ragged. In point of fact, England started to look ragged in the extra time. And for some reason, these old fogies, not old at 27, but you know what I mean, the older players.
Where does that put us?
Yeah, exactly. On Croatia, started to find a second wind. And I think a lot of that has to do with experience. I think at the end of the day, it's experience played out against an English team that was youthful, not quite as talented. Now, I want to back this up a little bit. On the French team, here you have a team that is growing into this tournament, match over match. A team that is very much like the English team in terms of in terms of the system that they play. But man for man, this team is more talented than the English team. Man for man, this is a better team than England. And I'm using England as an example because the French team is also the third youngest team in the tournament. So, but they have some real match-changing and match-winning players on this team, as well as a good smattering of experience. And remember, this is a team that 2 years ago went to the Euro finals. So they've been there at the finals. They've already had that experience. As young as they are, this team already have that finals experience. That is why I'm giving France the edge in this game in regulation. Plus, unlike the England team, which had trouble scoring open goals, France does not. What you're going to see is that France are going to press fast and high and fast. And Croatia are going to press France, and France are going to hit them on the counter where they are wicked fast, particularly with Kylian Mbappe.
Wow. Your analysis is spot on. I just must throw in one more component. I call it sentimentality. No pressure, in a sense, on Croatia. France. By the way, if you look at Croatia, a nation of 4 million people, it was 1/5 of Yugoslavia 30 years ago, a country that broke up after the Cold War. 4 million people. It's the second smallest country in terms of population to ever make the World Cup finals. Uruguay, who won twice, I think in 36 and 50, 3.8 million, the smallest nation that's ever to win the World Cup. Croatia's second. It is a tiny little train that goes up the hill that can. Does this mean anything when you're playing the giants, the Englands, the France, the Brazils, the Germanys? This is what France is. This is a mammoth, and here's Croatia, the little engine that can. Does that
nothing.
matter at all?
It means nothing, and I'll tell you why.
Means nothing?
I'll tell you why. Look, I had this discussion actually on Friday.
Okay.
It means nothing because, look, the size of the population of the country that you come from is meaningless in regards to how successful your football team is. China, they have how many billions of people, and they're crap at football. America, we have 350, 60 million people here. Didn't even make it to the World Cup. So it just doesn't mean anything. These are professional football players that choose this as their profession and play it at the top leagues around the world. That's where these players are being seasoned. They're not released to their international teams for but a few weeks every year. So it's not like this is where they're getting their, deep in the hills of Croatia is where Luka Modric and Rakitic learnt their trade. No, they learnt their trade in the youth academies in Spain. Okay, no, I don't buy that. What I do buy is the fact that for this Croatian team, 27, 28 years old, this is their final cycle. This is their golden generation has come through. This French team is at the beginning of their cycle. They're so young, but they've already been to the final of the Euros. Look.
All right, it's a fair rebuttal. Oklahoma Brian, you were with Belgium. That's still a good pick. I kind of admire that. Do you agree with Nick Geber that France is, well, that's the play?
I'm going to go with the draw.
That's me. That's me, baby.
The draw kings.
Well,
That's what I do.
The draw is plus 229. France to advance.
That's in regulation, by the way.
Yeah, in regulation. France to advance overall is minus 220. Croatia are the underdogs at plus 190 to advance. In regulation, I believe this is a French win in regulation. In regulation, Croatia are plus 404. France are minus 107. I'm saying France in regulation is my pick. I'm going to throw it over to you guys.
No, wait a minute. This is really good. That's your pick is France in regulation.
Yeah.
But if let's say you can't make that pick,
yeah.
Is Oklahoma Brian right that maybe the draw in regulation is maybe the second best wager? Do you agree with that, Nick Geber?
I'm gonna step it up. I'm gonna go with the super draw. I'm going to go for the game to go to penalties. That's regulation and the 30
what
minutes
does that
to
pay?
draw. Pays a lot more because you got another 30 minutes to not get snapped off. So I'm going for
Probably
the super
300 or
draw.
400, right?
We're running out of time.
Probably like 450.
So Frank, you're saying the game's going to go to penalties.
Yep.
Who's going to win it in penalties? It's a crapshoot.
Gosh, I'm going to say I'm going to say
Luis
Croatia.
versus Subasic.
Here's my prediction: Croatia in penalties. But before we forget, you guys, there's a big fight coming up in an hour, and
We'll get to that.
don't miss it. Don't miss it. Croatia in penalties.
He's always closing, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
He's always closing.
Okay. Who do you have?
All right, my quick thing is this. I think you got to go with value. Of course, France is the better team, is the team that should win. If you just look at the pure numbers, I understand you guys betting the draw. I get that too. I think that, anything can happen. Anything can happen in 90 minutes. Croatia
in 90. Oklahoma?
He said draw.
Oh, draw.
I'm sticking with the
I
draw.
said Croatia.
Okay.
But I will say one thing. If you're shopping for the draw and you specifically want to bet the 0-0 outcome, if you read the fine print and all of the prop bets, you'll actually see that outcome expressed in multiple bets. Sometimes you'll see a better price down the ticket without, but better than the actual posted 0-0 price. You might see a bet that says who will score the first goal. France, Croatia,
Or nobody.
No
Right.
goal scored.
Right.
That actually pays better than the 0-0 price.
Fascinating
So,
stuff.
That was great stuff.
All right. That is great. Great advice. I'm looking at 3 pages of bets here. All right. I hope you enjoyed the show. We got to go to break. It's almost over. We're going to wrap it up when we come back here on Fifth Street Sports, getting ready for Sunday's World Cup final extravaganza.
I could use the money.
He's right. No goal scored. That wins.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that.
All right, Nick, for the rebroadcast, mention the live show times of this show. Someplace in the final segment.
Getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885, 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. One call to Wall and Associates, and your tax problems are solved. Wall has saved clients over $150 million in the last 5 years. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. With one call to Wall, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Remember, Wall has a proven track record with a total client savings over $150 million. Call now for your free face-to-face consultation. 800-813-9940. 800-813-9940. 800-813-9940.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies, but you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Oh, it was Brian?
All right, we're back. Fifth Street Sports. Hope you enjoyed the show here on the Sports Byline USA and SB Nation Radio Networks, also American Forces. It's been lots of fun hanging with you for these couple hours. Just a reminder, we're with you every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern Time. And then again, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on these very same networks. So we certainly hope you will make us a regular part of your week here on Fifth Street Sports. We do love doing what we do, and we hope that you love listening to us and participating. And if you're wondering just how you can do that, go to our website, fifthstreetsports.com.
With a 5.
With a 5. 5TH.
Fifthstreetsports.com. You can listen to every single show. Wow, can you imagine that? Listening to all those hours of commentary?
Yeah, we got hours and hours of
arguments and
Frank
fights.
Perez's jokes up there for you.
Well, that's in between the sets. I'm not allowed to talk on. Hey, but
we let him out once a week, ladies and gentlemen.
Right,
we bring him out once a week.
But you mentioned Brian. Were you actually on a phone in on the Bill Maher show?
Yeah, I was there last week.
Oh,
yeah.
you were there?
What about it?
All right, real quick. Here's what happened. I'm going to do a thing with Oklahoma Brian real quick, and Brian's telling me he's got to go to a show. Bill Maher's in Tulsa, and I go home and I look on HBO, and there is Bill Maher, live from Tulsa, and Oklahoma Brian's in the audience, whatever. I'm like, wow, he's not lying to me. I love it. So, Brian, your credibility is 100%.
When's the cred factor?
Except for with me, Bill Maher, I would rather watch like O.J. Simpson highlights than like a Bill Maher show. I mean, to me, it's the truth. It's the truth.
All right. I hope you enjoyed it, folks.
Oh, I didn't enjoy that.
Join us again Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific, and then again 6 p.m. Pacific. That's 4 and 9 p.m. on the East Coast. Enjoy Sunday's World Cup final. I know we will once again.
Especially if France wins.
Yeah, you got all of our picks. We'll speak to you then. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend and enjoy the big match.
Go!
All right, guys, good show. You're clear. Be up again tonight, 10 p.m. Pacific time.